For 22 hours, we show up, not for fame, not for applause, but for the ones who wake up every day and put everyone else first.
This is our fourth year. 22 continuous hours of real conversations, real stories, real hope. Voices that refuse to be silent. Hearts that refuse to quit.
Some are exhausted, some are hurting, some are carrying the weight of the world quietly, while still showing up for others. This podcast is for them.
On Sunday, February 22nd, starting at 4 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Pacific, we go live for 22 straight hours to raise funds, raise awareness, and remind people they are not alone. If you've ever felt unseen, if you've ever given more than you had, if you believe compassion still matters.
This is your moment to stand with us. Listen, share, support. Because when we come together, hope gets louder, strength multiplies. Real heroes don't wear capes. They just keep showing up, tired, unseen, and still giving.
Join us live. Sunday, February 22nd, 4 a.m. East, 1 a.m. Pacific. Show up for those who never stop showing up for others.
Because no one needs to go it alone. When we all
come together.
Hello, my name is Zach Clayton. Mission for Healthy Heroes is more than just a broadcast. It's a commitment to the people who put their well-being aside so the rest of us can live a safer, healthier life. On Sunday, February 22nd, we're hosting a 22-hour event filled with stories, resources, and conversations that truly matter. And I'm asking you for something simple but meaningful. Just 22 minutes. 22 minutes to watch, 22 minutes to participate, 22 minutes to show our heroes they're not alone. Scan the QR code for details, mark your calendar for February 22nd, and join us in lifting up people who always lift us. Hey, good morning and hello, everyone. My name is Zach Clayton with Come Together, with Community Pay It Forward and the Come Together movement. We are here today to talk about something that's very important to me. We're here to talk about what is the Mission for Healthy Heroes. We still have spots available. This QR code is the only way that I can maintain sanity. So please scan the QR code now. I will also list in the description once this video's over. I'll also just put the link directly in there so you can go directly to the link and click in and schedule your time. Okay, we need you to do this. We need you to do this today. Once times start to go, they're going to go quickly. So I need you to sign up. I need you to sign in. And I need you to make sure that you are part of the Mission for Healthy Heroes. Look, there's one thing that I really, really want to discuss. And I wanted to make sure that we covered it because it's something that we're all guilty of at some point in time. Okay? We've all had that moment, all right, where we put it off. We hand it off to someone else. Well, we shouldn't do that. We don't know for sure that there is someone else who's going to do this. So One example of this is going to be I'd say it was probably a good year ago, if not a little bit longer. I was walking in Walmart and there was somebody who was coming in from the snow, and you could tell all he wanted to do was get in and get warm. I'm pretty sure he was hoping that someone would buy him a meal. But in this particular Walmart, we've got a Burger King. Ugh. But I went on ahead. I walked in there and just bought. And I don't have a lot of money. Really don't have money to spend. But I went in there. I bought him a coffee, and I bought him a like a 2 cheeseburger meal, whatever it was. Under $10. It's not. It wasn't going to. It wasn't going to be the end of me. Hell, if anything, it was one less 12-pack for me. Yeah, not anymore. Now they cost over $10, but it was one or two less sodas for me, so it didn't kill me. And it was kind of funny because as soon as I handed it to him, there was another guy who walked over from the registers and who had bought him a chicken. One of those baked chickens. So it was nice to see that somebody, and I didn't take the cheeseburger back myself and say, oh, well, I was going to give you this, but you got a chicken. What the hell? You don't need it. No, I gave it to him. First off, I don't drink coffee. I don't need heated road tar. Ugh, stuff is gross. But I gave it to him anyway, because now he had a couple meals. And as I had mentioned, it was snowy. It was a wet snow too. I remember that because he was just really, really wet, and I felt terrible for him. I truly did. But look, we're not asking you to go out of your way and do something you can't do. We can't always walk in and buy somebody food. We can't always take and give. We can't give people what we don't have. Okay? You have to take and limit yourself. You have to pace yourself, if you will. You have to make sure that you're only doing what you can do. So, and I know there's a lot of times we wish we could do so much more. Hell, there's not a time in the day where I don't really wish I could do more than I do. But if you live your life like that, you end up driving yourself crazy. And that's not what we're here to do. All right. We're here to we're here to ask you to join us in doing what you can do. So, but yeah, I do want to talk to you about something that, you know, every single one of us has felt at some point, that a moment that sneaks up on you sits heavy in your chest and stays with you long after the moment has passed. It's a moment when you see something that needs to be done, someone who needs help, a situation that clearly isn't right, and you think someone else will take care of it. Seriously, I mean, come on. You know what's happened. Look, I've been there more than once, and I'm not proud of it. I don't fixate on it, but I'm not proud of it. I try not to be that guy. But I have learned from it. And that's why I'm sharing this with you today. I just told you about the time when someone else, where about the gentleman sitting on the bench. There's been other times when I saw someone struggling, not metaphorically, not emotionally, physically struggling. And I told myself, someone else will step in, someone else will handle it, someone else is probably already on the way. I convinced myself I wasn't needed. I wasn't the right person. The one that pisses me off the most, and this has happened to me a couple times. Well, I don't have time right now to help that person. Joel and I talked last night about time. Time is a concept that we all need to get a handle on. Time is an excuse that no longer has validity. we can make time for everything. If it's important, we can make time for it. I didn't have the resources. We've already talked about that. And I didn't want to get involved. Those are but I've walked away. Look, I didn't know it then, but that's a moment that has taught me a lot of lessons, and it's a moment that has shaped my life. Let me take you back. I was out running errands, nothing special, just a normal day, and I saw a man on the side of the road, clearly in distress. He wasn't asking for money, he wasn't waving a sign, he wasn't yelling or causing a scene. He was just struggling. You know that look that people get when they're trying to hold themselves together, but it seems like they're starting to split? That was this guy. I slowed down, I looked, I felt that little tug of my heart, that instinct, that voice that says, stop, help him. But then that other voice kicked in. You're busy. You don't know him. You might make it worse. Someone else will take care of it. And I drove on. You're in danger. You don't know what this person is. You don't know who he is. And I drove on. I didn't get far, maybe a mile away, but that mile felt like 100 miles because, deep down in the recesses of my mind, you knew you left somebody out in the cold. In my heart, I knew I made a wrong choice. But I kept going. Well, that you don't know. That person, you don't know their situation. That's really kind of the point here. You don't know their situation, okay? Look, and when I say this, I want to make sure that people understand I am not telling anyone that if there's something uncomfortable, please don't do this by yourself. And guys, I am going to say this to you because we are the dumbest people sometimes. We'll feel like, well, something's not right here, but what the hell, I can handle it. I'm a big old guy. I can do anything. Guys, I hate to tell you this, but big old guys get into trouble too. Don't put yourself in a situation you can't come back from. And that's not what I'm saying here. All the time I hear people talking about how, well, yeah, you saw that grifter out there in the median, and they're always asking for money out there, and I don't want to give them money. They're going to go out and they're going to buy beer with it, and they're going to go do their drugs. They're going to, I said this to Adrian the other day. I said something about, look, these people are out here, they're asking for money and they're smoking cigarettes. Why in the hell that's my business, I don't know. I guess my point of being, very simply, is the cigarettes are close to $10 a pack now. I'll tell you this. When I was, I mean, you just think about it. When I quit smoking, if I was still smoking, I would be paying $30 a day for cigarettes. I think I'd probably end up having heart disease and ended up having a heart attack before I was paying $30 a day for cigarettes. But I remember paying $50 a month or a week for them, and I was freaking out. But anyway, that doesn't, just because you don't want to give them money doesn't mean you should stop there. Look, something as simple as giving them a water, giving them a coffee on a cold day, carrying a hoodie in your car. Well, that gal looks like she'll fit into a medium hoodie. It's colder than hell today. Or the sun is just beating down on someone, and where I don't quite understand the concept of putting on a hoodie when it's like 100 degrees. I know people do it because the sun beating down on you will affect you negatively. I understand that. There's always things that we can do. But for us to sit there and for us to pass by someone with it in our mind, the next person will take care of it. How do we know? Look, I know I'm on the Things channel right now. I'm on the Things network, and even people uh, who are those who can look and see into. Um, I don't want to say see into the future, but I'm going to say see in the future just because of lack of anything else to say. But people who can read a situation and see that look, we still just don't know if someone is going to be there before this person makes an irrational decision. If we can help people, we need to help people. We need to reach out. We need to make sure. And it's not difficult to do. It's really not. I know that when I see somebody who's struggling, I don't know if they get the help they needed, but I do know this. I had a chance. I have a chance every time to make a difference. I know there's times I didn't make that or I didn't take the chance. And those times are harder on me than so many other things in my day. It truly all the time it leaves that thought in my head. I had a chance to do something and I walked on. I know we'll walk by or we'll go driving down the street and I'll see somebody struggling obviously with mental health and there or physical health. We've called a couple times. I know there was one time that we were walking down the street and there was this person that was hitting posts and hitting fences and just you know they looked like they were impaired with alcohol or drugs or something. I can't tell you they were. I don't know. They could have been having shock of some kind. We don't see. That's one of the things we can't jump to conclusions. We can't tell you that somebody's doing something unless we physically see them doing it. People have come up to me when I have one of my episodes in a store and I'm just standing there and I'm pretty sure it looks like, oh God, this fat guy's tripping. All he's doing is standing there looking at the pot pies. I don't realize what I'm doing sometimes. I've had stores come up to me. I've had the Safeway here on 10th. They've come up to me and they said, "Sir, are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm fine. Why?" "Well, sir, you've been standing here for 15 minutes, just not moving. You haven't moved for 15 minutes. Are you okay?" I had no concept of time. I didn't know that I had been standing there for that long. I had no idea that that was going on. And I know other people were looking at me like going, "The hell is wrong with this guy?" My brain quit working for a little bit. There's a lot of people who probably thought that I was impaired in some way. And because of that, they walked on instead of trying to find out if I was okay. And I do think about it. I'm like going, "Oh, what if I would have had a stroke right there? What if I was having a stroke right there?" Strokes look different when it comes to people. Different things, different ailments happen, and they look different for different people. We got to stop assuming that people are in situations because of their choice. We got to stop assuming that everyone is going to do the wrong thing. And we need to realize that, you know what? It's not our duty to think about what their situation is and realize what our situation is. And our situation is we want to help people. And that's what we're talking about here today. Because assuming that other people will take care of it is just, assuming that someone else will help a struggling family, someone else will check on the neighbor, someone else will support a veteran, someone else will comfort a grieving parent, someone else will donate, someone else will volunteer, someone else will step up. Look, here is the truth, all right? There is no someone else. There's only us. Every time we look away, every time we hesitate, every time we convince ourselves that we're not needed, someone falls through the cracks. We all know this. We all know these cracks are wide, they're deep, and they're filled with people who deserve so much better. But because we see something, we decide, not my monkeys, not my circus. This isn't my deal. Those people have their own thing. I'm wrong. You're wrong in thinking that. When we see someone who is in need in our community, it is a problem for our community, not for someone else. I'd like to say that I've changed all the time. There are still times I don't give, but it's times when I don't have anything. Look, it has changed me the way I look at people, the way I see people, the way I respond to people in need. I always try to figure out a way that I can support people in a multitude of different ways. I built Community Pay It Forward and Community Dare to Care for this reason, so we can come up with different ways to support people. We're building the community come together movement. And we're building the mission for Healthy Heroes. That's the reason this exists, is for us to talk about what we can do to help other people. I never in my life heard, and I'm not saying that I started this, so don't get me wrong there, but I have never in my life heard of somebody suggesting to take an old hoodie that I had that no longer fits me back when I was smoking those 3 packs a day, that no longer fits me, and put it in my car and give it to someone in need. I had never, ever in my life heard someone else say that. Not saying I'm the first one to say that, because I don't know, but I had never heard anyone say that. That is something that I started thinking of. So tell me in the chat, tell me, what are some of the things that you do? What are some of the things that you and your family try to do to make sure that you guys can help people? So all I know is that I never want to walk away again, knowing that I thought someone else has got this. I don't want to walk away and feel like someone else is going to take care of it. This is someone else's problem. That's the one that upsets me the most. This is someone else's problem because, God damn it, no, it's not. This is all of our problems. If someone in our community is hurting, everyone in our community is hurting. And we, as a society, need to figure that out. When people in our community suffer, we all suffer. Let's put this in a way, and I hate HOAs, okay? I'm telling you right now, I hate HOAs. You've heard Adrian talk about it, and now you'll get my opinion on them. I cannot stand HOAs. They sit there and they tell you, how you run your yard. They tell you how you do stuff, and they get on people when their yards aren't up to standard. Yet, are they paying that house payment? Some of these people might not be able to maintain their yard the way that you dictate it's supposed to be because they can't afford to maintain the yard the way that you want it to. And this is the way our communities are. Just because somebody's dressed a little different than we want them to be, there's a reason they're dressed like that, probably. They got, there's a reason why they look like they haven't been able to do their laundry. They probably can't afford to do it. So let's help them out. Don't put that on the next person. Look, this is so simple. The answer is we've got you. I mentioned it before, but Mission for Healthy Heroes is built on this exact idea. Our veterans, our first responders, our firefighters, law enforcement officers, our EMTs, our civilian engineers, our teachers, our I cannot believe I'm receptionists, our I cannot believe I'm forgetting the name of what the job is. But look, the thing is that if you dedicate your life to helping someone else, dispatch, thank you, our dispatchers, if you dedicate your life to helping someone else, it is our job that we should never say someone else will take care of it. Look, they run towards danger. They step into chaos. They show up when everyone else steps back. And now many of them are struggling with health, finances, trauma, isolation, with the weight of everything. With the weight of everything they've carried for us. Not someone else, us. Imagine if a firefighter would come to your home when your cat's up in this tree and they say, not my cat, not my monkeys, not my circus. Somebody else will take care of this. They don't have to do what they do, but they do it with a sense of community. And that's why we're asking you to do the same. That's why Mission for Healthy Heroes matters. That's why we're doing this. That's why we're asking people to show up, to share, to support, to sponsor, to stand with people who have always stood for us. Look, I just heard a 6-year-old come in the room, or a 13-year-old come in the room. Have to look around and see if Nate's here anymore. If not, I just went through puberty again with my voice cracking. Look, you can learn more by going to www.us/upcoming-events. Okay, so communitypayitforward.us/upcoming-events. If you go there, you can find out more about what's going on with this and all of our other events. Plus, you can also find out what's going on at our good sponsors, Key Largo. And we would like for you to put your events on this page as well for a $25 donation that goes towards the Come Together Compass. You can advertise, and we'll even bring you on the show to talk about your event. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you see someone struggling, the next time you see a need, the next time you feel that tug in your heart, don't wait, don't assume, and don't pass it off. Be the person who helps. Be the person who shows up. Be the person who says, I've got this. Because you never know how much that moment might mean to someone. You never know how close they are to giving up. You never know how long they've been waiting for anyone, to care. And you never know how much it might change you. Look, I can't go back and fix the moments that I've walked away. But I can honor it by never repeating it. I can't make those situations any better, but I can try to make other situations better by asking and inviting you to join me in making sure no one else gets left behind. Mission for Healthy Heroes is one way for me and you to do that. Community Pay It Forward is one way for us to do this. Turning sales into donations for people who are out there. Organizations like Veterans Honoring Veterans, family organizations like Martyred Angels, organizations that deal with people who have certain struggles, like Hydro with Hope. The Aziza Project. These are organizations who have asked us for help in your shopping. When you shop with any of our partners, you can support those organizations. You can also help families who find themselves in just a difficult situation. All you have to do is take and tell us, I shopped with this person. Here's my receipt. I want to support these people. And your receipt is going to prove that you shopped with those business partners of ours. And those business partners are going to donate a portion of your sale to who you choose. We're not going to choose who you support. You choose who you support. If you know a nonprofit that's out there that is looking for just a simple way to raise a little bit of money, to raise awareness, connect us. That's the next best thing you can do than to donating to them, is to introduce them to us and let us bring them into the program. Honestly, the biggest way is simple. Choose to care, choose to act. Choose to be the someone that someone else is praying for. Look, thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you for being involved with this. Thank you for caring. And thank you for all who have already chosen to be part of the mission. Let's make sure no hero and no neighbor ever stands alone again. And to all of you who have not yet signed up, the QR code is right here. Don't let another second pass by when you can be doing something to help someone else. Here it is. It's very simple. This lovely red QR code. It's blinking red right now. It's telling you, emergency, we need your help. Scan it. Join us. Sponsor us if you can. We, right at this moment, are desperately trying to make a little bit of money to get our good computer out of the repair shop. It took a little more damage than we thought it did. I've told you all for years that computers see me and they start to cry. Well, this is one example of that happening. I took a computer that slows down at 70% and it's now at 97% capacity. And it's saying, I don't want to work no more. And I need your help to get it and set it right here where this beautiful one is working well right now. Right now. But it realizes its days are numbered. And actually, its days are numbered because it will not load Windows 11, which is a whole nother mess. But the QR code is the best place to go. Be involved. Be heard. Tell your story. Tell us about your program. Tell us about your product that is there to help people. Remember, no one needs to go it alone when we all come together. And by coming together, that means no one walks by and says, I'll leave it for the next person. Thank you very much for listening to me today. Thank you for joining me. Reach out to me. You can contact me through the QR code. But let's get involved. Let's make the mission of Healthy Heroes the start of bringing the world together again. Let's make sure that we turn everyday activities into things that support everyone. No one should be left out in the cold. And if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. Please don't be that person who decides not to help. Thank you so very much. You can reach out to me for my card. Here we go. Or you can reach out to me by contacting me at communitypayitforward.us, communitypayitforward.us. If you hit the little contact button, just to let you know, it sends me a text message. It knows that you need to talk to me. That is the quickest way to get a hold of me. Go onto the website, hit the contact me button, and I get a text message and I can make an appointment to get with you as soon as possible. You can also email me at Zach, Z-A-K, at communitypayitforward.us. That is Z-A-K at communitypayitforward.us. You can also get a hold of me at For My Card. Just go to formycard.net -U-36RU Zach _Clayton. Simply The easiest way to get a hold of me right now is going on to the website or using this, our QR code, and there's a way to get a hold of me. Thank you very much, folks. Once again, if you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone. No one needs to go it alone when we all come together. Please love somebody out there, because somebody out here loves you dearly. But we need your help. Flashing red QR code. Help me. Scan the QR code. Help us out. We really need your help. Others need your help. Come on. Hear your story. Watch your story. Help others by becoming part of the Mission for Healthy Heroes. We will talk to you soon. Hopefully, in the next couple hours, when you sign up to be part of the Mission for Healthy Heroes. We'll see you next week. Thank you so very much.
In energy work, energy psychology, you're helping a person understand. We can get a little closer to what that pain is without being overwhelmed, without being frightened, and we can sort of look at it and take care of it. Because the whole thing about PTSD and other avoidance or difficulty in handling a memory is that we're trying to not see it. We're trying to just say, stay over there, stay back there, stay under the surface. And that in itself causes a lot of problems, because nature wants to heal. There's healing inherent in nature. So
Hey friends, I've been thinking, we all have our strengths, right? There are things I'm great at and things I'm definitely not great at. I can talk to anyone, anywhere, but ask me to add something to a website or an app. Yeah, that's where things get a little messy. Oops, I love speaking, I love sharing stories. But social media, all those hashtags, algorithms, trends, that's a jungle I still haven't mapped out. Now, coming up with ideas that bring people together, that's my sweet spot. But bookkeeping, let's just say numbers, and I have agreed to stay in separate corners. And you know what? That's okay, because someone out there is good at those things. And when we work together, that's when the magic happens. Community Pay It Forward has never been about one person. It's a program built by many to support even more. Every single one of us brings something special to the table. We all have talents that make us strong on our own. But imagine how powerful we become when we combine them. That's the heart of Community Pay It Forward. Your skills, my skills, our hearts, working side by side to make a real difference. So tell me, what are you good at? Let's discover it together. Visit communitypayitforward.us and join the movement.
For 22 hours, we show up, not for fame, not for applause, but for the ones who wake up every day and put everyone else first.
This is our 4th year. 22 continuous hours of real conversations, real stories, real hope. Voices that refuse to be silent. Hearts that refuse to quit.
Some are exhausted, some are hurting, some are carrying the weight of the world quietly, while still showing up for others. This podcast is for them.
On Sunday, February 22nd, starting at 4 a.m. Eastern, 1 a.m. Pacific, we go live for 22 straight hours to raise funds, raise awareness, and remind people they are not alone. If you've ever felt unseen, if you've ever given more than you had, if you believe compassion still matters.
This is your moment to stand with us. Listen, share, support. Because when we come together, hope gets louder, strength multiplies. Real heroes don't wear capes. They just keep showing up, tired, unseen, and still giving.
Join us live. Sunday, February 22nd, 4 a.m. East, 1 a.m. Pacific. Show up for those who never stop showing up for others.
Because no one needs to go it alone. When we all
come together.